Hi to hi to everyone who's watching for today. Today we are just keeping it casual. We don't have any guest appearance today, so it will just be me. But there's always Nikki with me backstage, um, so she'll be helping me with those technical stuff. So today we're gonna be keeping it casual. So I'm just going to mainly have this session open for anyone to ask questions and also do their work. So usually we always have a very upbeat session where we have people community coming joining us and discussing about the topics that we have, and we have people joining us on in the studio impromptu, where they come in and ask us any questions that they have. But for today, we're keeping it very casual. We're keeping it very low key. So I just wanted to keep this session open because, as we know, the Tanya OL session is created for those who have questions. Regarding the platform or anything, and also for those who don't have time to create their courses during office hours. So this is what we're planning to do for today. We are giving you a time to hang out with us. Hang out with me and Nikki, and ask questions if you have any questions. Um, again, my name is Atika, and I'll be your host for today. So for today, how I'll be doing the session is that I'll be answering some of the most common questions that we actually have. We actually gotten through from our users. So I'm going to share with you guys all of the questions. Well, not all. Ones of the ones that are most commonly asked. So, but I'm going to do this only for like every 10 minutes. So, which give you time to do your own course, and also if you have any questions, you can do that as well. So, for just to start our session today, I am going to start with the first question that we have. So, the first question that is usually asked to our team is, of course, is Open Learning available for free, or do we have to subscribe to it? So, Open Learning is it have a trial basis if you want to use it, if you want to try it first. So we have a trial basis for a month uh, for free, which means that you can use our platform for free, and if you decided to continue using this, you can do so by subscribing to any of our plans. So we have different kinds of plans, which um, you can find out more on our page. So I will actually share that. I am not prepared for this, but I will share the price for those who are interested to know the our subscription packages, in order for you to try Open Learning. But as I mentioned, you can try it for a month before subscribing to our platform. So yeah, so that is the first question. So I am going to answer the next question in 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, feel free to um, ask me in the chat box. Okay, let me see. Let me just share. So I'm going to have musics throughout this. So if you are going to do your course. I hope the music will help with the session, calming session as well. All right. But also, if it bothers you, just let me know and I'll stop it. So let me see. Okay. just for those who didn't know what I'm looking at right now, this is actually a page templates. If you guys didn't know, we actually have page templates uh, on the course planning on the platform. So what page template does is that we give you we have provided you a few templates based on the activity types. So right now you can see there's activity types or Socratic methods, crowdsourcing, introduction and orientation, group activities and collaboration, crowdsourcing, co-creation, and presenting. So you can also filter this by activity type, and you can actually use the templates if you wanted to get some ideas, or you don't have any ideas on what to do for your activities. So how to do this, how to use the templates is that you just click browse templates in course setup, contents, just click browse templates and either view them first, like right now, and sorry, and if you want to use it, just click use template. So if you want to change the page name, you can add the page tags and also the path. So if you want to change the path, you can as well. This is the URL that will be used once you have created the page. So there are multiple templates that you can use. So feel free to take a look at it. So my way of using the templates is that I use it as a form of generating ideas. So you can use it as it is, and also use it as how it is. Just make sure to remove the contents that are needed to be removed, and just use it how it is. But how I use this is that it helps me generate ideas for activities that I have. So this is how I mainly use this. So I just changed the ones that I needed to, and use the templates as a base for me. So that's how you go into templates. All right. So now that it's past the 10 minutes from the last question, let's take another question. So, can I change the course URL? So this is also a commonly asked question. Asked question that can you change the course URL? So there's two things I need to know. There's one thing that I need to know before I answer this. Have you already created your course? And if you have not created your course yet, and you were actually mentioning about when you are creating the course, the process when you're creating the course, which is, let me show you. Create. Oops. Okay, so if you're mentioning about this course URL, like for example, I'm putting Atikah Hajar as the course name, it will automatically show the URL here. So if your question is, can you change the course URL because it's automatically set? Yes, because this has not been set yet. So even if you have a course name Atikah number 1, for example, you can change this to, for example, Atikah's course. Atikah's course instead of the course name. So the URL from here can still be changed. But once you have created the course and you have already created the course, like for example, I'm using this course. For example, this course I have created, it's called Atikah 101, nearly the same as the other one. I can no longer change the URL from here. So my course, if you can see here, the course name is Job Interview Preparation, but the URL is Atikah 101. So the title can still be changed, but the URL is no longer changeable. So my advice is, if you want to create a course, make sure that you're completely happy with the name with the URL. If you're not, you might have to recreate the course, because you once you have also created the course, you cannot also delete the course. So make sure that you're happy with the course URL. Course title can still be changed anytime, but URL is forever set. All right. Okay, that's for course URL. Okay, now let's go back to the templates. So I just wanted to view the templates that we have over here. So a lot of these types are something that we actually use for our activities as well. So most of the time we always need an icebreaker. So having an icebreaker template might help you to come up with your own ideas. So let's see this icebreaker. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Okay, so what the icebreaking activity here is that first you need to provide a context, and then step 2 is go looking for 2 stories. So the example given here is that it is for an interior design course. So you will learn how to review and evaluate different modes of interior design. You will also learn how to develop an interior design to match a design brief. As you go through this course, you will be interacting and learning with a cohort of your peers. Take a moment now to complete this activity and introduce yourself to them. So this is like I mentioned, is an ice-breaking activity. So we're actually starting off with introducing ourselves by and also starting with the course itself. So it's always recommended to have an ice-breaking activity that relates to your course. So if you can find an ice-breaking activity that you can relate to your course, try to use it try to use it to your advantage. So like for example, this is an interior design course, and it is for an ice-breaking activity. So what they wanted you to do is go online and take a look at the history of interior design. Find an example of an interior design project or work that you thought was great, and also find an example or project that didn't turn out so great. So you want one great and one not so great to share. So introduce yourself, find an example of great interior design and another one of not so great interior design. So, and then you can share here. So this can be used as a kickstart for your course as well. So it relates to how you can share, get the learners to share their ideas, get the learners to um, start working on their the course itself, while also um, introducing themselves and ice break with their peers as well. And then after that, after the sharing session, we want them to reflect. So here, we want them to take a moment to meet their fellow learners. take a look at everyone's introduction below and stories that they have shared. So from here, it's actually you can see here that once they have shared, the gallery is under this third activity, the third step instead, not right directly under the second step. This is because you wanted to for them to be able to see everyone's sharing by the third activity and not the second activity. So and this is the part where they get to see everybody's sharing, and also um, reflect on what others have shared, give their feedbacks, and also say hello. So this is how you get the learners to kickstart, connect, and have build a community with each other. So this is one of the ways that you can use an activity to ice break their session and also kickstart your own course. So this is why I mentioned it is recommended to for you to have an activity, ice breaking activity that relates to your course. It's okay if you cannot find an activity that relates to your course, but it is best for you to have it so that you can start the learning as soon as possible. Okay, so that's just one of the ice breaking activity. Okay, all right. So now we are in the 10-minute mark. Let's share another question. Okay, so I teach math and I find it hard to put in the equation by copy and paste. So, yes, copy and paste doesn't always work for the text widget. So, for example, if you teach math or use equations in your content, when you copy and paste, uh, it doesn't naturally follow the ones that you have in your document. So what you have to do when you want to put in equations, just put in insert here, and you put here equation insert. So now you just put in the equation, type in the. For some, I found that you can copy paste your equation in here, and it will actually follow. But if you copy paste it in the text box right away, it doesn't. So try to, when you have equation, try to use the equation settings first, and then paste it here. So if it doesn't work, you can just find out the equations that are available in here as well. So it can be the text display can be either inline or block. So this is just the text settings. So and just find out what you need to put in the equations, and just either type it out or just click whichever you want to. So this is how you put in the equations for on OpenLearning. So you can, other than equations, you can also put in latex. So some of you actually are very proficient in latex, but if you are sorry. Mm, so if sorry, I'm not sure where I was supposed to look at, but if you are fluent in latex, you can also use latex here as well. See first. Yes. So you can just type it out and put it in. So if for those who don't know what latex is, so these are the latex words. So if you already have the latex, like for example, you're using some other software and it provided the latex, so you can use latex and include the latex words in instead of just typing one by one. So you can do that as well for latex for mathematical expressions. So I hope this helps for a lot of people doing equations. There are also special characters if you want to use special characters, but most of the time when you copy paste even special characters and paste it, copy from your document and paste it on the text box, it should follow the um, same formula formats. Sorry, formats. Right. So that's on equations and math expressions. All right. Okay. All right. So let's go on to the next one. Let's look at the text box again. Oh, sorry, the templates again. Okay. All right. Okay, now let's see. Now that we have icebreaker, there's two icebreaking templates that you can use. The one that I showed you just now, and the other one is promote interaction. Even the first one that I showed also promotes interaction, but this one, you can use it to start off your course that uses a guessing game to encourage learners to interact with each other. So this one is more laid back and casual. It doesn't truly relate to the course. So for those who don't have an activity that relates to the course, you can look into this activity and maybe get inspired from it as well. But what you want to do in an icebreaker is always promote interaction. You want to break the ice, right? Okay. No, that's lame. But all right, let's go to, let's see, crowdsourcing. Okay, let's look at crowdsourcing activities. So this one is called crowdsource the challenge. In context where there is one right answer, create a library of questions and activities by having learners set challenges for one another. Okay. So what you need to do is start by giving the learners necessary tools to be able to set challenges for one another. The idea is not to exhaustively cover the entire subject matter, but to simply enable the learners to complete step 2 below, that is to be able to set challenges for each other. So the example given here is one example running through this page template will be on using statistical analysis to break monoalphabetic ciphers. Okay. This would appear in a course on cryptography, and it is assumed that the learners already know the basis of what a cipher is. For step 1 in this case, you would start by providing learners with information on what alphabetic cipher is, and the principle behind how you can use statistical analysis to cipher of the cipher to break it. Second example is running through. Okay, will be on explaining the relationship between a force and work. This would be on course on physics. For step 1 in this case, you would start by providing learners with basic formula at the heart of this relationship. So it mentions here that step 1, um, you want to be able to give the learners basic information of what you want you will be doing for the activity. So for example, if they're the example 1 is cryptography, and the learners are assumed to have basic knowledge on cipher, what cipher is. So the later activity will be created with the base assumptions that the learners already know what this is, and be able to do the activity. So if they don't, if for example this one, if sorry, if they don't, you would want to give this information beforehand. So as mentioned also over here, you don't want to give the learners everything. This will exhaust their minds, and that this will make it a very boring class as well. So try to not give everything, but just the base. So in the next step, the learner sets a challenge. So we give the each learner any guidance required to set challenges for each other. Your guidance would steer the learners on what type of challenges to set, while giving them freedom to set their own challenges within the framework. So example number 1, you're going to get some practice in trying to break more monoalphabetic ciphers. In particular, you are going to create a message using the cipher, and later on you're going to try and break each other's ciphers. So for those so for this activity, you want to have an activities that the learner actually create the message themselves, so the cipher themselves. So and another person will have to break the cipher. So this is actually how you also introduce activities that are that uses peer feedback and peer work as well. So it doesn't have to be a group work where this only group work where the students have to work it with each other. Activities like this, even if it's an individual activity, you can still have the learners work with each other, where you have the learners set the activity, set the challenge, and another learner have to find out the answer. So like for example number 2, you can see uh, as example number 2 was on physics course. uh, it is on exploring the relationship between work and force. So for this, the learners have to design an experiment that tests the relationship out. So they have to write a design into the document, and put in what methodology will the experiment use, what outcomes are to be observed, what measurements should be made or calculated, and what result would be expected to see, and if you conducted the experiment. So this one um, is more on designing the document for this experiment to test out the relationship between work and force. And then once they have that and they share their answer, everybody have to try and figure out if it really actually worked. So as I mentioned, the example 1 was for the other learners to guess the message and break the code, and they also have to give a summary on how they figure it out. So it's not just like putting an answer because they saw somebody have posted it. It's also about how they figure it on their own. Okay, so they have to give out this. And for example, number 2 is they have to include a reflection for the experiment, which includes key observation that they made and the results that they recorded, and how this result confirmed the relationship between work and force. So for this one, since it's physics, they have to test the experiment themselves and uh, uh, record the observation and the results, and how did they confirm the results that they have observed, right? Okay, and once they have that, they can reflect on their thoughts on the activities that they have done. So this is actually on how you can do an activity to crowdsource. So it's basically create scaffolding, uh, a mini scaffolding activity uh, where you have the students build and then um, experiment and then reflect. So this is like a step by step thing that they need to do. All right. So, okay. Next, we're going to take another question. Okay. Let's see. Another question that is more commonly asked is that how do I view the student's view once I am done with uploading the contents? Okay. So, for this question, it's actually very um, straightforward. What you see over here once is nearly the same as what the students view as well. So right now it's in edit view, which is only how admins view it. But once you click view, the ones that you see over here is what the students will view as well. So there's not much difference on how you view it and how the learners view it. And for tabs, the only thing that the learners doesn't see is starting from the course setup down and below it. So the ones that are below the course setups, which are course setup, administer learners, assessment, and credentials, those are the ones that are not uh, available to the learners. So they won't see it, only you can see it. Learners can only see the 3 tabs over here: homepage, learning modules, and groups. And the page over here, they look, once you click to view, it looks exactly the same to your learners as it is to you. When you click edit, that is slightly different because you have the tabs. Once you click the edit, then you can see the tabs over here. So as I mentioned, once view, it's the same for your students. The 3 tabs here, they can view, but for admins, you can view all of these 4 tabs and the edit button. The students cannot also view this view and edit button as well, and settings. So these are only available, viewable to you. So, but the content, it looks exactly the same to you as it is to the students. All right. Okay, let's go back to the templates again. Okay, let's look at another templates. So we have crowdsourcing, group activities, and collaboration. Okay, group activities. I've mentioned this for the last templates where about group activities. So let's look at a group activity template. So this is called Jigsaw learning. You have 5 steps for this. Step 1 is to decide your source material. Okay. So for example, in course on psychology, you want to present the entire cohort with a case study to be analyzed. You could then have 3 separate articles that cover relevant material from 3 different perspectives: the behaviorist perspective, the cognitivist perspective, and the psychoanalytic perspective. The goal by step 5 will be for the learners to be able to analyze the case study, incorporating all 3 schools of thought. Okay, so that's step 1, is just for you to decide, you as the educator, to decide on your source materials. And then step 2 is assign research group and expert group. Okay, so from the example above, which has 3 pieces of source materials, suppose the course have 30 learners. Okay, so there will be 3 research group, and each research group has 10 learners in it. Each one is assigned 1 piece of source material. And there would be 10 expert groups. Each expert group has 3 learners in it, one from each research groups. Okay. All right. And then one way to manage this is to first divide the entire course to 3 research groups and then assign each person numbers. Learners with the same number are in the same expert group. So step 2 is just assigning groups for the activity that you will have. And then step 3 is for the research group to research the topic. So you have this one, since you already have like research groups to research topics. So you have 3 research groups, right? So each group takes 1 topic, which was either assigned to them, or they can just choose it on their own lah, whether by dice rolling or anything. Okay, so each of these groups is assigned. The learners are told to consider what insight the article sheds on the case study that everyone has been given. The learners in each group will work together and discuss this. It is also important to let the learners know that each of them will soon be going back to their expert group to explain what they have learned to the other 2 learners in the expert group. So slightly confusing, but you understand that there's 3 research group, and also from that you have 10 experts, 3 research group with 10 learners in it, and then 10 expert groups with 3 learners in it. Okay, and then from once they have researched a topic, they have to come back to their expert group and to report on their studies. So in the psychology example, learners now go to assign. Each expert group has 3 learners, each now an expert in one of the perspective. So now you have like 10 expert group, each 10 experts group with 3 learners, with everyone that are expert in their own field, which is behaviorist, cognitive, and psychoanalytic. So each person's goal is now to teach the rest of the group about their assigned area to help the group as a whole to analyze the case study from all 3 perspectives. So now they're just going to teach everyone what they have learned based on their research group. And then they have to present as a group. In the Expert groups now work together to develop the argument analysis of the case study, incorporating all three schools of thought. They record a short 5-minute video and share it with the rest of the class. So finally, once they have teach everybody, they have to develop an argument or analysis of the case study, which use all three, because each group, which are have three learners, are an expert on each topics. So knowing that everybody is an expert of each, everybody contributes to the case study, and they can come up with an argument or analysis based on that. Right? So this is an example of template for jigsaw learning. So everybody like completes each other, right? That's why it's called jigsaw learning. You all of them brings different point of view to the table. This is actually a great way to incorporate group activities. Usually what we see when you do group activities, you just want them to discuss, but by having them give out different ideas, each of them are expert in their own field, you get a little bit more on understanding. Everybody is an expert in their own field and can share and share their thoughts on that field itself. So creating the jigsaw puzzles and filling everybody's pieces. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, I'm just going to not close the share screen because I keep forgetting to reshare my screen. Okay, so the next question is, can I put other websites in the course, like example Kahoot or quizzes, or should I just put the link? Okay, so this is something that we usually get, a question that we usually get as well from course creators. This is because course creators usually use a lot of, let me just share my screen. This is because a lot of course creators use a lot of resources when they're teaching. So this is good actually for them to use a lot of resources, and we encourage that. And how we encourage that is that we allow other websites to be embedded into our platforms. So unfortunately, this is based on the websites itself. If the websites have this privacy or firewall that won't allow the page to be embedded to other websites, we can't help with that. But if it is available to be embedded into our platform, you can actually use this to put in the resources that you have into the course. Like, so let me take for example, like, see. So both Kahoot and quizzes are free resources to use, quiz tools that a lot of educators actually use. So and both of these tools are available to be embedded into our platform. So for example, let me use Kahoot. I'm just going to, let me see. There's no okay, explore content. Let's see. Let's explore content. Okay. For example, it's just STEM robotics. It takes that. Okay, let's see. Okay, you can see play as guest. This is for Kahoot. Mm. Campaign. Okay, can stop then. Okay, actually, can I copy this? Okay, let me just use this. So to embed, for example, just use integration, HTML5, click setup, and iframe. Page maybe 100. Okay, save. Ooh, that's a small page. 500. Okay, so now you have Kahoot right on your page. So the learners don't have to go out of the course or click the link and then it will redirect them to another page. They can actually just go to the same use. They can actually just use the course and use it as it is to play the Kahoot games. This goes the same for quizzes as well. So a lot of the, as I mentioned, a lot of websites actually allow this their websites to be embed, but some won't allow it. So let's see the star. Usually the star doesn't really, but let me see. Let's do another one. Iframe star 100. Yes. So the site, the newspaper site, thestar.com.my, don't actually let users to embed their websites outside of their own website. So it will actually look something like this, like refuse to connect. So you have to make sure that the website that you wanted to embed are able to embed to our platform. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Nearly. Looks like we're nearly at 4. So I'm just gonna take another one last question. For last question. Okay, for the day. Okay. So the last question is, how can I check the students that have already received their certificate and can I withdraw it? Okay, this is something a little bit tricky. So in order for you to check if you have, for example, let me just choose intro. I don't have a student in this course, so I'm just gonna use course that have a student. So actually the way that you can check that which students have received their certificate is that go to credentials and issue credentials. So that's one way for you to go. So this is I think this question is mainly because mainly because you have set the credentials to be automatically issued, or if it is manual, you have a few people in your course that issues the credentials, right? So this is actually how it looks like for those who have their credentials issued, uh, or certificate. So once you have so in order for you to check, just go to credentials and issue credentials. So you can see those who have received their certificate by going to the filter credential issued. So right now you can see there's 3 people that have received their certificate, right? And for the later questions, if you can withdraw it, well, the answer for that is no, because like if I show you here, even if I click it, it won't happen anything. But if you see here, there's a refresh credentials option, right? So it means that the credential that I have set earlier have been changed, and in order for the learners to get the new credentials is if I refresh, click this. So right now, what they're having is an old certificate, and in order for them to get a new certificate, I have to refresh this credential. So the ones that they have, so a simple answer to that question is no, you cannot withdraw. But if you have changed your certificate layout or anything, um, you can give a new certificate by just refreshing the credentials. The students will not get the updated credential um, once when you have changed it. They can only get the updated one once you have refreshed it on their profile. Okay, so that is for that question. And also, now it's already 4 p.m. I guess we are going to end the session for today as well. Okay. Okay, so I hope the question, the Q&A sharing was will be helpful to those who are watching, for those who watch this session. And I also hope that the template sharing that I have rambled throughout this session will be helpful as well. Um, so again, for those who are interested to know, for those who are interested to know on all of our activities, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or sign up for our educator newsletter. Uh, so so that you get to stay updated with all of the events that we have, and events, webinars, and also activity Tanya OL sessions like this. We also have a feedback form that that we'd like you to fill out, to just give us feedback on the session and what you want to know more about in the later sessions, so we can discuss this on the later sessions. So and if I guess there's no other questions. No other questions. I'm going to end this session for today. So thank you everyone for tuning in for this session. Hope you guys enjoy the session, and join me in the next the next coming one, which will be on 10th November. 10th November instead. Okay. Again, thank you and have a good day. Bye.